Are you a good team player? Do people want to work with you on a team or in a group? Do you enjoy working with other people? What would it take to be the ideal team player? We've spent time this semester reading through this book, The Ideal Team Player. So hopefully this is a review. But as you think about what makes for a great team player, I want you to think about these 3 traits and where we might see them in your own lives and where you can grow. So the first trait of an ideal team player is somebody who is humble. Someone who is humble lacks an ego. They're as interested in you getting credit as they are themselves. They know who they are and who they're not. Somebody who has humility doesn't seek to take credit for everything, but rather is excited for other people to get credit. Somebody who's hungry is someone who's self-motivated, who's ambitious, who wants to accomplish tasks, who's not lazy, but is instead driven and has a desire to accomplish the goals set out in the organization, not only for the organization, but for themselves. And someone who is smart, this isn't mental IQ, more like emotional intelligence. They understand other people and they think through what other people are experiencing. They listen well and they consider alternate interpretations of an idea. They can articulate how they feel and empathize with others. So let's throw this into a Venn diagram to see what are the different combinations of these people. If you can clearly identify one of these areas that you're really strong in and maybe another area that you can improve, you could start working toward being a better team player. A person who's just humble tends to be a pawn in an organization. They don't really have goals for themselves and they don't really understand how to work well with others, so they just are sort of powerless. They are used by other people to get what they want. A pawn is someone who often works hard, but doesn't work for themselves and isn't really interested in what the end result is. Someone who's just hungry, we call a bulldozer. They will plow through anybody that's in the way of their goals. These are really hard to work with on a team because they're only interested in their own agendas and they're not interested in the goals or agendas of the team. A person who's just smart is the charmer. A charmer often finds their way out of work. They have lots of reasons why they weren't able to work and they're able to get you to empathize with them so that you end up doing the work. A charmer can be really discouraging if you are engaged in what you're doing, if you care about the goals or the agenda of the organization. Anyone who is just one, who's lacking more, who's lacking 2 of these traits, that's going to be a rough team to be a part of. Someone who has 1 or more of these traits, we're starting to move towards a better team. So someone who is both humble and hungry is the accidental mess maker. They care a lot and they really try. They want to accomplish goals, but they don't know how to work well with others. And while they're not interested in getting the credit, they might end up making messes. You can think of this like a puppy. A puppy is an accidental mess maker. They really want you to be happy. They don't know how to make you happy. And sometimes they end up throwing up on the carpet or tearing up your shoes. They don't mean to, but they're just so excited about what they're doing. An accidental mess maker you can work with because they can learn how to read other people and how to work on a team. A skillful politician is somebody who's smart, who has good emotional intelligence and is hungry, but not very humble. This can be hard to work with on a team because the skillful politician is really good at getting other people to do their work and taking credit for that work. They might work hard, but they work in such a way where they get the credit. They're smart enough to know how to manipulate and handle other people. Now, this doesn't mean that there's no hope. A skillful politician can be a good team member if they can learn some humility in sharing credit. The person who's humble and smart is the lovable slacker. They are so good at giving other people compliments and credit, and they're not in the organization for their own benefit. They really seem like they're there for everyone else. But what you'll often find at the end of the day is that this person is your friend, but this person didn't really do much. When we find all three of these traits in one person, we have an ideal team player. Somebody who's humble, who isn't searching for credit but willing to share credit with others. Somebody who's hungry, who has a desire to accomplish tasks, who has a desire to see the organization or the team succeed. And somebody who's smart, who knows how to listen well, who knows how to communicate well, somebody who knows how to empathize and articulate what they're thinking and feeling. This person is an ideal team player. If you can learn to grow in humility, hunger, and emotional intelligence or smarts, you are going to become invaluable to your organization. You will be able to clearly articulate what your value is to a team. And you will watch any team that you are on, if you can become an ideal team player, grow. Now, you may have to struggle with people who aren't ideal team players. And if you ever find yourself in that position, remember, you weren't always an ideal team player either. There are still opportunities to grow. And if you ever find your position where you're hiring people, think about, are they humble? Are they hungry? Are they smart? Do I want this person on my team?